Hello. In this video, I want to talk a little bit about an. Okay, an is misunderstood as pushing sometimes, but actually an doesn't mean pushing. Pushing means is tui in Chinese. Okay, when we talk about an, it means pressing, and usually in Taiji it means pressing down. Okay, however, when we really analyze about an, actually an means you press. Okay, you press against something. So is it pressing against something? So it's not just push something away, but you press on something, okay? And in Taiji, sometimes it means we use an to press the opponent against the ground. So that's why usually when we talk about an in Taijiquan, it means pressing down. However, it doesn't matter you press forward or down. You have to sink your wrist because the jintian or the point of the force, okay, when you apply, actually come from this point that is the root of your palm. So which means when you touch, you have to sink your wrist to apply an. That's why it's always go down anyway. One big thing I want you to know, okay, I have his hand, for example. If I use pushing or tui, it means I try to push his hand away. He can relax his joint, okay? That is tui, okay? Because I try to move his hand away. That is my intention. And if he resists, he can resist my force directly because my force had the direction that one move his hand. He just try to resist by not moving his hand, follow my force, okay? So what is pressing? What is an? An will not try to move his hand. I compress his hand, maybe through his joint, through his shoulder, through his body, or even through the feet, okay? That is an. So if he relax his joint, for example, if I move, if I push, I cannot gnaw his joint. But if I compress, I press to his elbows in this case. Okay, if I try to move his hand, his elbow will move. Okay, the joint is free because I just want to move his hand. That is tui because the idea is I want to push his hand away. But I don't push his hand away. I don't even move his hand. I compress. Okay, now his elbow stuck. Again, see, like this. I move his joint. I move his hand away. His joint will move. But I don't move his hand. If I don't move his hand, his joint will not move. Then I control his joint. However, if he resists, see, if I push, because when I push, my purpose is to move his hand. It means my force will apply to his hand. So he can resist easily. But if I press using an, the target is not his hand anymore because I don't want to move his hand out. I can press through his structure, okay, down. That is an. So it means you press against something, and that's why an is one of the best way to gnaw, and that's why most of the master they gnaw with two hands with an position before they release or fajin. That's why many people misunderstand this because it looks like they push with palm. But actually no, they use an to control, to gnaw, and then fajin or release out. That's why it looks like pushing, but an is not pushing. An is the controlling before the fajin. A student of Grandmaster Chu Yi said an means when you use both hands to control the partner, you press his arm, but you uproot him. You send the power to his feet and uproot him at the same time. That's why an look like this in Yang family Taiji. So usually when I push like this, if he relax his arm, it's like I push his arm away. See, his joint can move. But if I don't push his arm away, I just compress his arm. So it means all the joint here will be pressing, okay? Because I not try to push his hand away, but I try to press his arm against something, against his elbow, against his shoulder, against his body, against his quad or feet or the ground. So I push his arm away, it's become like this. I don't push his arm, I press, pass through. I got his feet. Okay, and doesn't mean you have to use a strong or more power. Can be very light. Because sometimes you use too much power and he relax. It doesn't work. But if you send only the pressing, okay, it's very light here actually. But then I still can move him. And can move to the side as well if you want. So if I move his hand away, I push like this, I can move his hand. See? I can move his hand. I can move his hand. I don't move his hand. I just compress to his elbow. Then I can move him. That's why in the old classic said, if you want na the opponent, you na to his joint. Usually, when you na to his elbow, it will not allow his elbow to not allow his arm to extend or bend. It means his arm will be stuck, cannot extend, cannot bend. Okay, so he relaxed, you can see. Okay, I do this in the workshop as well. Okay. Even before that, he can relax. Touch like this. I move his arm in the space. I cannot look at him. I move his arm in the space. Nothing. But then, okay, now.
Why is it weak? That's something weird happening, like in the wall.
Okay.
Feel free to always let me know when I need to record you, okay? Because I don't know.
See? But then because, why? Actually because I move. But if I don't move, there is some force already. I just need to compress to that one. So even I go to the side, it doesn't matter. But the key is I compress his hand against something. But remember, when you use arm, you still need to sink your wrist. Okay. So here, when I try to go that way, I have to have the sinking chin. Okay, sinking chin is still important. That's why in pushing hand, arm is in this position. Right? When he touch me here, I arm here. Okay, if I just push, it's quite easy for him to hua. Why? Because I give him my force direction. But when I sink, that is different. Okay, thank you so much. See you in the next video.